You're listening to Heroes in the Moment. What's up, heroes? I'm Michael.
And I'm Nathan.
And today we're doing our weekly recap number 60.
6 decades.
Already 6 decades of this show. Wow.
Decade is 10.
How crazy
right?
is that? Yeah,
decade
it
is 10.
6 decades. So 60 years.
60
Wow.
years of news.
60 years of news.
Give us an award
awesome. already. We need an award. Give us an Emmy or an
Yeah,
Oscar
a
or
Peace
Tony
Prize.
or whatever. A Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah. Give us that.
Been
Absolutely,
pretty peaceful.
we deserve it.
Yeah.
So not a lot of news this past long
there's
time.
not a ton
That's why
going
we
on.
haven't had a good weekly recap in a couple of weeks, just because there hasn't been much news. We got a couple of things we'll talk about, and then we're gonna lean into my Matt Reeves Batman helmet over here and play a little fun game, who would win in a fight.
Yeah.
And just go off that. We'll do a couple of those. But for news, we do have Chris Hemsworth. First off, you want to take the reins on that?
Yeah, man. I saw this post today, and Chris Hemsworth, he was doing an interview or something, but essentially he was just saying that, looking back on Thor, Love and Thunder, that he kind of regrets, where his character was, how much they made it like a parody.
Which is true.
He said they went overboard with the comedy. And we said this 2 years ago. But basically, it was just nice and refreshing to hear him say, like, hey, like, I think I really messed up with this role and we took it too far. And that's definitely something I would like to hear from Taika too. Because he's the one, majorly impacting all those things. But just hearing that from Chris Hemsworth, it gives me a lot more faith for if they do, make a fifth one, that it'd be much more grounded and realistic in nature.
And I wish too, because like we said, I mean, on this podcast, we've been hating on Thor: Love and Thunder a very long time now.
Rightfully so.
And rightfully so, because it's just not a good movie particularly. But I do appreciate Chris Hemsworth being like, yeah, this movie, like, it does feel like a parody. It does, like, honestly, if they would have come out and said, hey, Thor 4 was actually just a parody and not real, I would full on believe it.
It's
that's
made
how
by
bad.
SNL. I'd be like, okay, yeah,
I would believe
that makes
it.
sense.
And I'd be like, okay, so when we get into actual Thor: Love and Thunder
why
story,
is this parody 2 hours long?
yeah, why is it such a long parody? And when are we getting the actual movie? Is the question I'll be asking myself. But if we was to get like a Thor 5, like a Thor Odinson, or just call it Odinson or something like that, that would be epic, and just focus on an older, more grounded Thor, kind of in his Logan era, would be super, super cool. And just I would respond more to it.
Dude, I'm seeing the movie poster right now, dude. So it's Chris Hemsworth. He's got some gray hairs. Huge beard.
Give him the Viking
massive,
cut,
huge
man.
beard. He has a Viking cut.
Like I see, like what do you call them things like that? Like not a ponytail, but it comes out of your head, kind of thing.
I don't know
like
what it's
a Viking
called.
thing.
Yeah,
and then like almost like a.
I'm not saying a huge beard, but I'm saying lose like the regal armor and put on some like fur or
maybe some face paint, like Ragnarok face paint.
Yeah, like down one eye or
but
something.
just blue, like a blue face paint on one side, like snowy. I'm seeing snow
like
vibes.
He's coming out of retirement to
give him just
snow vibes.
Him having Stormbreaker and just holding Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
Epic.
He's just gonna fight a bear like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant.
The Revenant.
He's just getting ready
that's epic
to fight a grizzly.
Dude, it'd be epic.
That'd be so cool.
Such cool, and that's what we need. We want Odin's son. We don't want another Thor: Love and Thunder at all. So it'd be super cool. All right, other news, and I'll actually apologize for this one because in our Deadpool and Wolverine trailer breakdown, we actually missed some cameos presented in the trailer that we did not talk about in our initial breakdown. So I apologize for that. So I figured we'd talk about them now and kind of bring them up now. So there was a scene. You remember when it was showing Ant-Man or Giant Man's head, like opening up to his skull? In front of that skull, there was a plethora of Easter egg cameo villains from prior X-Men movies.
Really?
You see Azazel there. Azazel from X-Men First Class, the teleporter, who's in red. You see him. You see Lady Deathstrike from X2. She's got her claws out. You see somebody who looks possibly like Toad from the original X-Men movies.
He's so weird.
Love Toad. And he's like standing like that. And then in another image, it looks like possibly Callisto from X-Men The Last Stand.
Okay.
And then maybe some other down-to-earth villains. But apparently there's a whole plethora of like original villains standing in front of that.
What are they doing there, man?
Probably under Cassandra Nova's control, I would say. Probably like that's her army essentially, and she's utilizing them to go against Wolverine or Deadpool or whoever else, is what I'm seeing in that capacity. And I've also heard that a good chunk of the movie of Deadpool Wolverine takes place in that astral plane area. in between worlds or whatever,
Really?
which is an interesting concept. I'm like, okay, makes kind of sense when
Yeah.
it comes to what the story is.
I wonder if they can die in there. Well, they can't really die anyway.
Well, if they died in there, I guess they'd be dead. Like there's no
Yeah.
coming back from that. So I don't know, but that's what we got from the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. It's a pretty cool little concept there.
Bunch of villains.
Bunch of different little mutants, villains, and we know that this is going to be chock full of cameos. This movie, so I'm excited to see like how they're going to do it and bring the Fox X-Men universe to an end.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
$1 billion loading.
Yep. Oh, it's going to give it, and all of it's going to come from me. I'm just kidding. All right, so
In
now
the theater.
I'm going to pull
million
up
times.
our Matt Reeves Batman helmet, and
Matt
we're going to
Reeves
do
Batman helmet.
a little who would win in a fight.
It's been a long
It's
time
been a
since we've
while
done this.
since we've done this, and it's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing this. So if you want to select
How
your
many?
first card,
Just one right now?
just one right now, and we'll just go back and forth and see how long we can.
I'm
we
going with
wanna
this
do
one.
it.
Yeah, this one.
All right. Take a look at it. I'm gonna go with.
Oh, baby.
One. Ooh, okay. All right, what you pull?
I got the one, the only, the one-eyed man, Nick Fury.
Nick Fury. Oh, the most powerful hero of all time.
Yes. Who else could assemble the most powerful team of all time
You're
if not
right.
for the most powerful man of
Who
all time?
else? I had pulled Cyborg out of the helmet.
They both got at least one eye covered.
That's true.
You got to think about that.
That is a true statement.
So
They
who
both
can
have
see
one.
better?
is going to win this battle.
One has a visor on, one has an eye patch.
And I'll never forget like the Avengers when he's like, how does he see all this stuff? And when talking about Nick Fury, he's like, he turns. It's like, yeah, he does. But I mean, naturally, in all seriousness, Cyborg would absolutely murk Nick Fury.
Beat the crap out
has
of him,
no
man.
chance.
Curb stomp him.
Unfortunately, Cyborg is taking this one. Unfortunately. All right, let's get a good one. Let's get a good debate going.
I'm
here.
sorry, Samuel L. Jackson.
I'm sorry, Samuel L. Jackson.
Maybe
We love
if
you.
it was the version of him from what's that movie? The Other Guys. With the
God, he's OP, man.
with him and Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah. They're just like, aim for the bushes.
Aim for the bushes.
There's
Fist
nowhere near
bump.
bushes.
Yeah, just jump onto the road.
Oh man, I do not like The Other Guys. I will say I do not like that movie. But that scene in particular makes that
movie has some really weird pacing, but the whole Will Ferrell, dynamic with his wife and Mark Wahlberg's at dinner
And
with
she's
them,
absolutely
and he's
beautiful.
treating her terribly. He's like, "Dude, are you kidding me,
like,
bro?
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. All right,
Kato.
so I pulled the legend himself and Darkest Day and Brightest Night, Green Lantern.
I pulled our favorite actress of all time and our favorite role of all time, Captain Marvel.
Ooh, okay. So this is actually an interesting.
This would be a good one, yeah.
discussion. Okay, so Green Lantern, Captain Marvel. So this is a discussion. So Green Lantern, we know, can create anything.
His power stems from the ring, which stems from his mind. You know, his
power of
will,
will.
his determination.
His power of will, and then of course Captain Marvel, who has
Cosmic power.
Cosmic powers, the infusion of cosmic powers, endurable. She can literally fly through planets and suns, and this
She
is a
can also
good one.
make you really mad during her movies.
That's a true power.
That's a very underrated
That is
power.
true power. So movies aside, and just the characters in general, Green Lantern versus Captain Marvel. Who
I will
will win?
say, in the comics, I feel like she's a lot weaker than
She is.
how she's portrayed in the movies.
I agree. She
Whereas
is
Green
weaker.
Lantern in the comics is like, I think
He's a legend.
he's-
However, Captain Marvel, even though she is weaker in the comics, is still a pretty powerful adversary. So if those two was to ever cross paths, and I want to say that maybe in the crossover DC Marvel they might had. I'm not positive on that, but
I mean, you just gotta think about, what's more powerful. I think overall in the
Cosmic
end,
power of the ring.
cosmic would overpower, his determination.
yeah, right.
I mean, obviously he's more creative with his power,
Right.
but she just has like the sheer raw, untapped power that
I
she can
agree.
unleash.
I mean, the fact that he can create so much, I do think it would be, like I said, a really good fight. It would be a long fight.
yeah,
And especially, it also, I feel like the environment also plays a lot.
yeah.
But they're both space-based characters.
Yeah, I feel like he's better situationally, just because of the with his creative abilities, and how many situations he can help out with.
Yeah.
Whereas she is more just like
Raw power.
raw power destruction. You know what I'm saying?
I do think at the end of the day, I think after a long, drawn-out, couple-hour fight, Captain Marvel probably would come out on top.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I'd agree.
because I know we want Green Lantern to win,
Yeah, definitely. Especially if it's Ryan Reynolds.
especially if it's Ryan
Especially
Reynolds.
if it's Ryan Reynolds.
But unfortunately, yes, I do believe Captain Marvel
Yeah.
takes that fight.
No, that's a
unfortunately.
better one. That's Nick Fury versus the Hulk is gonna be this next one.
Nick Fury versus the Hulk. That'd be a legendary fight right there.
Well, speaking of the Green Man, I got his female counterpart, She-Hulk.
Oh, okay, She-Hulk, and I have Gamora, another green
Two
phenom.
green ladies.
Two green phenoms here. Okay,
this is I feel like be very close.
This is a good fight. Gamora is very lethal.
She's lethal.
She's very powerful. I think in the comics she's more powerful than she is. I mean,
trained by Thanos.
Trained by Thanos. She has great abilities with swords. And also it feels like, is She-Hulk? Is she the She-Hulk from the show? Is she practiced? Does she know her abilities yet? Or is she just learning her powers? I think we're going to go with both in their prime. I imagine is what we're going to base off of. I mean, obviously She-Hulk's got super strength, super durability.
She can get you out of a jam.
She can get you out of a jam.
If you're facing the charge.
If you're facing the charges, she can do that. And then Gamora, who is a mercenary, tried and true, an assassin. No, this is a good little fight too.
You gotta think like She-Hulk. Obviously, she's tougher. Yes. She's stronger. She's gonna be really hard to kill.
Absolutely.
Can you kill She-Hulk?
I mean, I feel like you could. I can kill anybody. It just would be difficult. But depending, I mean, Gamora's sword is probably made out of Uru or whatever, like one of the most powerful metals. So that could probably break her skin.
And then She-Hulk, she doesn't have as much training. As Gamora.
Well, I'm saying both in prime is what I'd say for this. So if they're both their prime.
I mean, Gamora's a trained killer.
She's a trained assassin.
She's a lot more, ruthless.
Yeah.
She has a lot more ways to kill you because, like I said, she doesn't have all those genetic powers.
Right.
She has to get crafty with it.
Right. I still don't know. I mean, you look at She-Hulk, though, the fact that she's so durable, the fact that she's got so much strength. I mean, but the thing is she has control of her brain too. She's not a monster.
She's not a monster.
That has no control.
Like if you're a Gamora, like best case scenario, you'd have to fight perfectly
and outsmart
just to live.
Yeah.
Not even just to win and kill her, but just like get out of the same room. She would have to be on her A game.
Yeah, and she'd have to absolutely outsmart Jennifer as well. So I don't know, who you think?
I mean, I feel like it would have to be She-Hulk. Just because She-Hulk can take a lot more damage than Gamora can.
I'd say you're probably right, but I think Gamora could potentially take it though.
See, I do too. Like I said, and if there's anyone who would show up with their A game, and, not get grabbed, not get hit, it would be her. Yeah, she's trained with the best.
I honestly think Gamora would take it. I think it could go either way.
Yeah,
it depends on the situation as well. But I think knowing Gamora being trained to take down stuff like this, I think Gamora takes.
I mean, if she could fight Thanos,
so
she could most definitely take She-Hulk.
Takes this. So you say She-Hulk?
I'm gonna say I think we can split this one.
Okay,
I think it's pretty close. To be honest,
pretty close one. All right, we'll do one more of these, and then we'll move on to Heroes Q&A.
All right, let's see here.
Let's get another good one here. Those were two good ones.
This is a good one, I think.
All right, let's see if I get a good one. Let's see. We already drew that one. I'll draw another one.
I have the one and the only.
Okay.
Jason Momoa's. No, just kidding. I have Aquaman. Near or in water.
Okay, so in water.
Yeah, so he is very powerful.
Okay. I have Doctor Strange.
Oh, Brother Bear.
Okay. Bear. So I think we know who will win.
Yeah.
But I do think Aquaman near water, it'll be a good fight. Yeah. I think he could put up a good. It wouldn't be easy
if he used all the fish in the sea.
Yeah, I mean,
if he used all his resources.
Yeah, but also I feel like Doctor Strange is just like a water guy. Bye bye.
I know water go bye bye. He would do a Moses and he'd split the water. So it would. Just...
I understand. I mean, Aquaman, he's not going to win. I mean, Doctor Strange is going to come out on top, but near water, I think he'll put up a good fight. He'll get some punches off, but Doctor Strange is taking.
I mean, you think about at least Spider-Man No Way Home. Obviously Doctor Strange isn't trying, but Spider-Man's kind of not going down without a fight there.
Yep. I agree.
But anytime you're talking hypotheticals and magic, it's magic always wins.
It does. It does always win.
There's nothing that can beat magic.
No, I agree. All right, so now we're going to move on to our brand new segment, Heroes Q and A.
Q&A.
So we have 2 questions to talk about today, and we'll get those just a second. But before we get to those questions of Heroes HQ, remember, you guys are welcome to DM us, send us an email, comment on our Instagram post for your questions to be featured in our Heroes HQ as well.
So thank you to the people who sent their questions for this week's episode.
Yes,
we
thank
appreciate
you. We appreciate
much.
you. So send us some more in the future. All right, our first question is out of 2. All right, it says, Michael and Nathan, what is y'all's favorite Disney Plus show to date for both Marvel and Star Wars?
Favorite. Okay, so obviously an original, recent Marvel and Star Wars.
Marvel and Star Wars Disney Plus show.
I think.
Which one we start with, Marvel or Star Wars?
You know what? I say we each say both of our favorites.
Yeah. We'll each say both of our.
At the same time. So I think for me, for Star Wars,
it'd
probably be Tales of the Jedi.
I'm gonna say, I guess this is kind of a cop out. I guess we can't necessarily say this, but I would say Clone Wars season 7. Can I say that?
Yeah, you can say that.
I would say Clone Wars.
It's not a cop out. I think that's a clear.
I mean, if it wasn't if it was original, like pure original. It would be Tales of the Jedi, or Tales of the Jedi.
But see, the last season of Clone Wars was an original.
It was an original Disney Plus. So I'm gonna say season 7 of Clone Wars.
I'm gonna go Tales of the Jedi just because I've always loved Count Dooku.
Yeah.
Seeing his backstory, I side with this dude.
Absolutely,
he's right. I think
absolutely. And then for the old Marvel department, X-Men 97. Is it too early?
I don't think it's too early. I'm gonna go WandaVision here. I just still love the mystery of the intrigue
I would say
that show.
I would say WandaVision. I guess now, since X-Men 97 is not done yet.
Yeah.
But as of right now, it's X-Men 97.
It's that
X-Men
good.
97.
It's that good.
It is that good.
Yeah.
So I think X-Men 97 for me, and then Clone Wars season 7 is my 2. And
I'm
then
gonna go Tales of the Jedi, and then WandaVision.
Yeah, those are valid.
Yeah, man.
Those are valid picks.
Elizabeth Olsen's performance. What's his face? Who plays Vision?
Yeah.
What's his name? Oh,
Paul Bettany.
Paul Bettany. Catherine Han. Shoot, man, performances were so good. It
was good.
You know, the mystery behind
Jimmy Woo, Randall Park.
Jimmy Woo.
The best part of this.
Yeah, you had what's her face?
Tiana Paris.
The girl from Thor.
Oh, Darcy.
Darcy, man.
Darcy.
She's
Catherine.
What's her name? Dennings?
Dennings?
Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings.
Is it Kat Dennings?
Kat Dennings.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Good question.
Yeah.
Hey,
Ooh.
Jinx again.
Jinx.
We finished each other sandwiches.
All right, good deal. All right, next question is another who would win the fight scenario. So that's cool.
Okay.
This one says, Michael and Nathan, who would win the fight, Wolverine or Deadpool?
I see. In preparation for the movie.
In preparations for Deadpool and Wolverine. Good
then
question.
People want to know.
And we're going to get this fight in the movie. So who would win?
I think if you're talking about, let's leave the healing for later. As far as hand-to-hand combat, who has more training experience?
I feel like that's got to be Wolverine.
I would go Deadpool.
See, I say Wolverine just because of all the wars he was in.
He was in more wars, but I feel like Deadpool is a lot more skilled.
Okay.
Wolverine in his nature, he's more of a brute, more of an animal.
He is.
I mean, when you're watching Wolverine, he's going hand to hand with ninjas. You're like, okay, so he clearly knows how to fight. But with Deadpool too, I mean, you watch the scene where he just gets sprayed with bullets and he cuts him all in half. You're like, okay, this guy he's something else. Clearly he has a lot of expertise, not just with his swords, but with his guns too. And that's a big up.
I think he does. I think as a whole, healing aside, Wolverine has more experience.
He has more experience in those larger battles, but I think when it comes down to the fine details of gunmanship and swordsmanship,
right?
Deadpool
is a better swordsman, but you have to think about where Wolverine's claws are extensions of his body, whereas Deadpool uses the swords as if they're extensions.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's just full on going at him, I don't know. Healing it, obviously, I'm going to put the scenario that it's not going to be to the death because that's just impossible. They're not going to be able to kill each other. But to the scenario, they're just fighting until one's okay, that's enough for now. I don't know.
They're both gonna take hits regardless.
They're both gonna keep on going, and I feel
obviously, they're gonna target each other's hands.
Yes.
Obviously they can heal them pretty quick, but not that quick.
I also think that Deadpool's mouth would get him into trouble, but also be an advantage at the same time
because he could bait.
Because he could bait him, he could make him mad purposely with the idea of doing that. But he could also be stupid in that factor and Wolverine to outsmart him because I do think Wolverine's smarter.
Yeah,
but Deadpool is very tactical as well with how he uses that mouth.
Yeah.
That he would be able to bait
He's not an idiot. And plus, they would know what's on the line. So I feel like they would be at like their peak.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be a little harder to maybe try and bait him. I guess, is he just using swords, Deadpool, for this fight?
I would say swords. I say everything to his disposal. So swords and guns.
All right. Swords and guns?
I would say everything is his disposal.
If it's guns, it's unfair, I feel like.
Well, I mean, Wolverine just kind of takes the guns and keeps on going.
Yeah, he's just going to put a bullet in his head after bullet in his head.
Yeah. It depends on what type of bullet. If it's an adamantium bullet or is it just a regular bullet? I mean,
I say we keep it just blades.
Yeah. Okay, so if it's just blades.
I think, because then it just comes down to, who's stronger, who's better at dueling, and
who's more durable.
Who's more durable.
And who has more stamina.
Yeah.
I think Deadpool has more stamina and durability.
Really?
But Wolverine also has a lot of perseverance.
Wolverine has that rage.
And he's not going to stop.
That can carry him, yeah. That's his whole deal. Like, he's not stopping. Even in Logan, man, when he's old and,
I think,
still going.
From perspective, I think Deadpool would come out on top, most likely. But bias in me wants to say Wolverine because I like Wolverine more. But I think as a whole, it would be Deadpool. But then again, it would be a really good fight.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's weird. Hypothetically, if they both cut off each other's hands, who would win? And I'd probably have my money on Logan.
I don't think that Deadpool could cut off Wolverine's hand because of the adamantium.
That's true. But then he could cut off
Deadpool's hands.
But he's probably not going to go for that. He has points. He's going to want to try to pierce rather than slash. Right?
I would assume so.
So,
yeah, it'd be a good fight.
In the case that he could get one of his hands, I think.
To answer your question best to the person who sent it, I truly believe you will get that answer in Deadpool and Wolverine.
I think in the movie, they'll go back and forth with it too. I think they'll fight each other more than once.
Yep.
I just kind of tease the fans. Like, oh, Deadpool wins here. Oh, Wolverine wins here.
So I think we'll get some answers maybe in the movie.
Yeah.
All right. Great questions.
Good questions, guys. And remember, keep on sending them in too. All right, guys. So if you enjoyed this episode, just let us know by giving us a review and a download. We really appreciate y'all's support each episode. Thank y'all very much. As y'all know, like we just did, we have a new segment at the end of our weekly news, Heroes Q&A. Just shoot us a question in our DMs, our Instagram comments, and we'll answer them at the end of our weekly episodes. Then also, if you want exclusive access to episodes, including additional movie reviews outside of our general purview and early access to all of our episodes, feel free to subscribe to our new membership called Heroes HQ. And then if you want to stay up to date with our new episodes and announcements, check out our Instagram, Heroes in the Moment.
And we just want to thank y'all for listening. As always, we love you 3000.